Good day everyone, I am Mir Lusuban and in this moment we will be talking all about chapter 13, which is the principles and strategies of teaching and designing IEP for learners with difficulty remembering and focusing. Alright, for an overview, learners with okay. So for an overview, learners with difficulty in remembering and focusing need intensive individualized interventions. An IEP is a document made by professionals and a guardian that outlines performance, goals, and needed services, but not all learners require one. Before formal evaluation, a pre-referral process is done, and some schools use RTI to determine if a learner should be referred to special education. Okay, for many learners, it is not just a simple problem because it is their daily experience. Some students find it very hard to focus their attention or remember lessons, and they need special support to learn well. And then this is where individualized education program or the IEP and good teaching strategies come in. Because the IEP help the teachers create the lessons that fit each student's needs, for every learner has a difficult that is needs. So every learner has a chance to succeed no matter what difficulties they face. Alright, now who are these learners again? So, these are the students who need extra special help. They cannot learn well with just regular teaching methods, and they need plans and activities made just for that. Okay, let's proceed to the RTI. So, what is RTI pala? So, RTI, it is a response to intervention. Now, here's how it works. So, starting from the bottom, which is the biggest part. Okay, so this is the figure of the RTI. So first, let's discuss the tier 1, the primary level of prevention instruction or core curriculum. Now, this is for most students, about 80% of them. At this level, students get regular, good quality teaching in their normal classroom. Right. Now, if a student is struggling, teacher might first try to help them within this regular classroom teaching. Okay. So, kani siya nga level, if ang estudyante is mag-struggle, so ang first na gamiton sa teacher is ang kanang regular classroom teaching. Oh, yes. Now, as for the tier 2, the secondary level of prevention intervention, so this is for a smaller group, about 15% of students. These are students who need a little more help than what the regular classroom offers. Okay, so kanina sa tier 2, unlike sa katong sa primary level nga, if ang estudyante mag-struggle siya, so ang first nga gamiton sa usa ka teacher is ang kanang regular classroom teaching lang. While ang kani sa tier 2, if ang estudyante is mag-struggle siya, although nagamit to niya ang katong kanang regular classroom teaching, but still nag-need siya og kanang little more lang man pod, little more nga help lang pod. Like for example, kanang getting an extra lessons, giving an extra activities, kanang gamay lang kataba. So that is the tier 2. Now, let's proceed to the last part, the tier 3, the tertiary level of prevention intensive intervention. Okay. So this is for the smallest group, only 3% to 5% of students. So at this level, it needs the most intensive and special help. So, maka-receive po siya individualized intensive intervention. And then, this is also where an IEP or the individualized education program might come into play, as we discussed earlier. Okay, take note sa difference sa tier 1 hangtod sa tier 3. Okay, 3. Now, let's proceed kung unsa man day ang IEP, unsa may kagamitan sa IEP, para asa man siya. Okay, what is IEP? So it is an evaluation team of teachers and experts determines if a disability affects educational performance and recommends IEP eligibility. A multidisciplinary IEP team, guardian, teachers, and specialists is formed to work toward IEP goals. The IEP is reviewed yearly and revised if progress is insufficient. The team may discontinue the IEP or recommend or placement when necessary. And the chapter provides instructional strategies for learners and specific learning disabilities, and these strategies can be used in both special education at Tier 3 and regular classroom Tier 1 settings. Alright, now to simplify, IEP, it is an official paper or document made by teacher, experts, and parents or guardians. Now it writes down what the student can do now, what goals they should reach, and what help or services they need. Yes, it is important, but not all students need an IEP because only those who really need special support. So that is what we called IEP. Okay, now let us proceed to the educational approaches. Okay. So below are general educational approaches that are designed to support learners with difficulty in remembering and focusing. So first, we have Universal Design for Learning or UDL. So it is an educational framework that maximizes learning opportunities by using flexible goals, methods, materials, and assessments. Okay. When we say UDL, Universal Design for Learning, so it is teaching that is flexible. So instead of teaching only one way, teachers use different methods so all kinds of learners can understand. So that is what we call Universal Design for Learning. Now, also as part of the UDL, we have here, UDL includes three main principles. So first, we have multiple means of representation to give diverse learners options for acquiring information and knowledge. Okay, say multiple means of representation, it is just like a different ways to learn. Example like giving information using picture, video, reading, or speaking. And then when we say multiple means of action and expression, it is to provide learners option to demonstrate what they know. Okay, so ang sa multiple means of action expression naman, it is a different ways to show what you know. Like answering by writing, speaking, drawing, or acting. Okay, and then the multiple means of engagement to tap students' interest, offer appropriate challenges, and increase motivation. Okay, so sa number 3 naman, it is a different ways to stay interested. Like using topics and activities that catch their attention. Now, those are the three main principles of UDL. Okay, take note that the UDL benefits all learners by providing varied learning formats, assessments, and tools, especially those with severe learning disabilities. It ensures curriculum materials and technologies meet a wide range of learning needs. Okay, let's proceed to number 2, direct instruction or DI. Okay. It is an evidence-based practice that improves learners' achievement across different skills and content areas. It involves active learner responding, systematic error correction, and progress monitoring. Okay. So when we say a direct instruction naman, it is teaching that is clear, proven to work, and focuses on result. So the teacher guides the student step by step. Okay. Now, we have some ways of in doing DI. So, this include the response card. So, unsa man DI ang response card? So, it helps identify scenarios that learners will give a response through. Ko, di ba, you have here creating student response card example, coded index cards, to asking question regarding the lesson discussed and waiting for learners' responses and scanning across classroom to see learners' answers. Okay. So, ang response card, this helps the teacher see immediately kung kinsa tong nakasabot o kinsa tong wala nakasabot. And this is the help of response card. Mao na siya. And then, take note that this strategy is guided by teachers' feedback by praising correct answers and correcting errors. So variations of response cards include pinch or clip cards, content categories, example true or false, fact or opinion, popsicle sticks, and paper point out. Okay. Now, let's proceed naman sa self-monitoring. So, unsa man ini siya? Now, self-monitoring, it is a behavioral-based intervention that promotes self-regulation by having learners observe and track their own behavior systematically. So, as you can see in a figure that is shown, di ba, makita ninyo nga naay day, I follow the instruction, I stayed in task. Now, ang self-monitoring naman, it is the teacher makatabang siya nga ang kaning mga student is mahimo silang responsible for their own learning. So that is the help sa self-monitoring. So mao to siya ang katong some ways in doing TI. So we have the response cards and self-monitoring. So let's proceed to the explicit instruction. So, unsa man ni siya. Now, it is a direct and systematic approach to instructional and delivery in which students are guided through learning using clear purposes, explanations, demonstrations, and supported practice with feedback until they achieve independent mastery. Okay. And so when we say explicit instruction naman, so it is teaching that is direct and clear, no confusing parts. So the teacher tells the student exactly what they will learn and shows them how to do it. So practices with them and then let them to do it alone. Now, we have 4 key teaching components. So we have a lesson opener, explanation and modeling, guided practice, and independent practice. Okay, pag lesson opener, it uses question to spark learners' interest in the topic. Lesson opener, di ba? And then as explanation and modeling, so mag-provide siya clear procedure and provide examples and non-examples. And then the guided practice, it allows learners to practice with feedback and support. And then independent practice, it involves activities for learners to work on independently. Okay, that is all for my report, and the next topic will be discussed by my co-reporter. That's all. Thank you.